Hello all. This is my first video for this week's membership. I just wanted to talk a little bit about being on the eve of the election and the uncertainty, the anxiety in the air. I know many of you are feeling that, and I wanted to offer this as a way to help you have a way to calm down and just to be aware of some of the planetary energetics that are happening. We're actually going to be feeling in the early part of this week the new moon in Scorpio. It is exact at 8:47 a.m. Eastern on November 1st, 2024. A new moon in Scorpio is usually intense, but it's more intense this year because it will also have a Mars Pluto opposition and a Mercury Uranus opposition. I see this as an invitation for us to sit in the unknown, not only as we wait to see what unfolds in this election, but also to see what unfolds in the next few months as the rest of the year rounds out. We currently have Jupiter's current transit through Gemini, which is increasing the amount of information and misinformation coming at us. So if you see anything or hear anything that triggers you, that jars you emotionally, definitely check in with your intuition. Ask yourself if what I'm hearing or receiving is the truth or not. And one way to sharpen your intuition, I got this from the medium Delisa Hawking of Spirit and Spark. She suggests that we do regular meditation and grounding practices on a daily basis to increase or hone our intuition. Doing that during this time will be especially helpful. It will calm you down and will also help you be able to discern truth from fact. The Mars Pluto opposition, it will foster a change and transformation in our collective. Mars is the planet of action, Pluto is the planet of deep transformation. And a Mars Pluto opposition can cause a lot of things to become unearthed, hidden things to be revealed. And especially since we're in Scorpio season, I definitely expect to see some reveals. And also because this Mars Pluto opposition is happening during the final weeks of Pluto's final transit, excuse me. Pluto's final transit in Capricorn is going to be ending in a couple weeks, never to return in our lifetimes. Since the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was about 240 years. And this current Pluto in Capricorn is happening as the US experiences its natal Pluto return. So all of this means lots of astrologers are talking about what this means is that the US as a country will be changing. We don't know how fast or how slow that is, but I suspect what we think of as government will look very different in the next 10 to 15 years. And I think the thing that we can all begin to do now is to really own our own personal self reverence, self responsibility, and our own self sovereignty. Now, I am someone who votes. I still believe in democracy and the voting process. I do not say that as a way to abdicate the system. I would like to see a lot of things transformed in the next 5 to 10 years. And I could talk more about that probably as this membership continues. But for in terms of handling all of the stress, all the information that you're going to be experiencing in the next week or two, I suggest limiting your exposure to the news, limit it to 20 minutes a day. If possible, cut down on the text you're receiving from all these political entities and organizations. You can temporarily unsubscribe from them. You can always resubscribe later, in mid-November. But for many of us, those political texts will just amp up our anxiety. And again, another reminder that Jupiter's current transit through Gemini started in, I believe, May of this year, goes until, I believe, June of 2025. Don't have the exact dates right in front of me. It's lots of information, fast and furious, and a lot of it is not verified. So if you hear anything that seems suspicious or just really triggers you, makes your gut like cringe or contract. Before you fully react, take a breath, pause, do your own research, find out if there's any truth in what you're hearing. This is a good practice in general, especially as Pluto goes through its transit in Aquarius. So once it leaves Capricorn at the end of November, it will be firmly in Aquarius until sometime in 2044. So we're going to have plenty of time to learn what Pluto in Aquarius looks like. Um, some of the other things happening this week, we have a Venus square Saturn that may bring up things for people in their personal relationships. In terms of planning, it's a great way to practice finding a balance between passion and practicality, excuse me. So if there is a big project that you're working on or something that you want to begin to implement, that Venus square Saturn, which will be coming off of around Monday, October 28th or so. But you might still feel the energy for it for a couple of days. This earlier this week, you may have been feeling that, and some of it may be lingering towards the end of this week as well. It's just a good thing to be aware of that sometimes you have to make sure you have a really firm structure around what you're planning and what that looks like for you, or ask yourself what would be a good foundation for any big project that you're either in the middle of or you want to initiate, say, in the next few weeks to the next few months. On October 30th, we have Mercury opposing Uranus. Now, that can give us a lot of energy, and it can also bring in some unpredictability. It might also have an impact on technology, transit systems. We may have an October surprise right before the election. So just be prepared or expect the unexpected. We also will have Mercury trining Neptune. Now, that can be a great day for, that's going to be on the 31st, Halloween. It can create a space for dreaming and inspiration, finding a new way to express those dreams, write them down. It might be a good day to do some visioning or journaling. And also, with all of the stress in the air, um, towards the end of the week might be a good time to start planning that next vacation or the spa day or, a massage. And those are not the only forms of self-care, or for people who don't like the term self-care. We can go with, say, self-nurturance, self-regulation. I think it's important during these highly stressful times to have regular everyday practices where you can calm yourself down, whether that's taking a walk, a dance break, stretching, sitting quietly for 5 minutes with your eyes closed, any type of simple meditation, maybe just breathing, inhaling to the count of 4, holding for the count of 4, exhaling for the count of 4. Things along those lines might help us out quite a bit. And if any of you have other suggestions or coping strategies for people during these election weeks and just during stressful times in general, feel free to express that in the community. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. And again, as always, easefully yours, Darice.